All right. Welcome back to another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. The first time in over 3 weeks. The time really caught up. But I am psyched to be back right now. We got one hell of a show ahead of us. Joining me, as per usual, is my younger brother, Matt Driscoll.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. I'm very excited. This is my first, I was saying in the pregame, my first show with Orry B that wasn't the 100th episode with I think there was 8 guys on it.
There
So
was it, guys. That was a great show.
excited. Very, very excited. We got a great agenda, which I'm sure you'll touch on right at the start.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. So, and speaking of which, also joining us for probably like the 7th or 8th time at this point, maybe even more, is our guy from Fluent vs. Chill vs. Everyone. And from the Creators Hour, we got Orry B, a.k.a. Hoop Social.
Woo. Excellent stuff, man. I'm so glad to be here. I love that you guys have me on here. I love chatting with you guys. Chris, you do an excellent job. So thanks for having
my
me.
guy. Absolutely. So, as I said, it's been 3 weeks, and honestly, not only has it been 3 weeks, it's been about a month since we've done an NBA podcast. It's been the last time we had a show, we did the March Madness show. And then past couple weeks I've just got literally last Thursday was the day that I got home from New Orleans. So and then Thursday night was the day I left for New Orleans. So unfortunately I wasn't able to get a show in between then, but all that matters now is that we're here and we're about to have one hell of a show. So, but before we do that, we got to do it as per usual. This is episode 118, but however, we're still doing the birthdays like we usually do. This is not gonna lie, I've said this a lot, but this I haven't used this adjective yet, but this is the funniest set of birthday lists I think that we've done. So, on the NBA, we have Hall of Famer Paul Arizin. We have two current day players in Sadiq Bey and Jordan McLaughlin. And then in the MLB, we have former, I think, 3-time batting title winner Luis Arias, and I don't know how to describe. I don't know what team he's most. I guess he's probably most known for the Phillies, also known for the Mets as well. David Robertson, and then on the NFL side, again, this was easily the funniest one ever. We have Matt. You want to take a swing at this?
Funniest one?
If I give you the position, it'll be a giveaway, I think.
Is he a tight end?
He's a kicker.
He's a kicker. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. Usually when I go into the birthdays, I filter. First, I do filter out WAV, which factors in it's kind of like the WAR or the VORP, WAR baseball, the VORP of the NBA. It factors in longevity or win shares. So there was nothing there. I'm like, who the hell is that? I clicked on All Pros. No one has an All Pro. That was 109th. I clicked on Pro Bros. There were 4 or 5 guys. One of them being Graham Gano of the New York Giants. So who could not physically kick last year and lost them about 2 or 3 games. So
Graham Gano, it's unbelievable how many games that he's lost the Giants for the last 2 seasons, and he finally got released.
It's crazy.
There was a parade in Manasquan the other day because we were celebrating Graham Gano being released. What a great day.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, we got an awesome show ahead of us. So, we got our NBA award show. So we didn't get to do this last year. I did do it last year back when we had NBA Max with Jalen and Tony. Yeah, I think Orry was missing that night. But however, I did do it the year before when it was me and Orry, and that was a great time. So I had to have Orry back on for this. And we're gonna dive right in. We're just gonna do it based on first we're gonna do the teams, because first we'll do the overall all NBA teams. We'll take a pretty deep dive into that, and then we'll do our all defensive teams. That one probably won't take as long. We might just comment as to we might give a couple shout outs, and then we'll do our actual awards. And the way that'll go, it'll go Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year first, then Rookie of the Year, then Sixth Man of the Year, then Most Improved, then Defensive Player of the Year, and then MVP. Although Orry did point out to me at the beginning of the show that we're missing Clutch Player of the Year, which we'll squeeze that in the middle of them somewhere. I don't know where, but it'll probably have to maybe in between Rookie of the Year and Sixth Man, or whichever. We'll figure it out. But and I feel like in order to start this show, I feel like we almost wouldn't be addressing the elephant in the room. And that is obviously this has gotten harder. It's gotten easier and harder in some ways, because it's gotten harder in the sense of what everyone's been talking about for the past at least 2 months now. Obviously more, but I'm talking it really heated up past couple months with the 65 game rule, which for those who don't know, for those who just watching this for the first time, what the 65 game rule is that all NBA players are only eligible for awards if they play in 65 games. Not only do they have to play in 65 games, they have to also 63 of those games have to be, I believe, at least 20 minutes, and I think 2 of those in between 15 and 20 minutes. So like that's really that's the cutoff there. But obviously, there's been a lot of talk recently with like should they get rid of it? Is it too strict? And it's just a very, very hot topic of discussion. We kind of dove into it briefly yesterday on Phone versus Show versus Everyone. Yeah, our producer of the show, Tony, doesn't seem to think it's a problem at all. And though I think that though I do think that it is over exaggerated a little bit, because I think this year is more of an exception to the rule, given that there's just a lot of players that happen to be getting injured and are ineligible. But I do think that it is an issue. That I'm going to list off some of the players that are probably going to be ineligible. So one of them being Cade Cunningham, who did he come back last night, or is he coming back tonight? I don't remember what it was, but he came back last night, I think.
Yeah.
So Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, who's going to play 65 games, but he played like 2 games under the 15-minute mark, I think. Giannis, who I feel like just stopped playing because there's a lot of other things for that. Steph Curry only played less than 40 games. So, like the names after these aren't really big concerns about the rule, but Joel Embiid, Lauri Markkanen, LeBron James, and Michael Porter Jr. and Austin Reeves, like they probably wouldn't make an All NBA team, but at the very least, like they're good scorers. And obviously, our guy Jason Tatum, but again, he's only going to play like less than 20 games this year, so he wouldn't have gotten the award anyway. But I'm just listing off superstars that would have gotten the awards if they played the entire season at their quality of place. And and before we get into the actual players and like what we would have done, because I feel like that's something that we should do is maybe mention or maybe like pick our teams first and then say maybe who would have squeezed in there. But Orry, I just want to hear your thoughts. Yeah, you kind of gave your thoughts yesterday on Phone versus Show versus Everyone, but I'm wondering where your thoughts are on the rule. Should it be scrapped altogether? Should there be a modification to it? What are your thoughts to it?
This to me is one of the more interesting or fascinating arguments in sports, especially major sports, because I can clearly see both sides of the argument, and I think that both sides have a valid argument, which is probably the biggest issue. Is I think that I've heard with the 65 game limit, it puts a certain amount of pressure, but at the same time, we've never had an MVP that never played 65 games, except for maybe in a lockout season. You know what I mean? Like the 65 game mark for all NBA players typically is pretty easy to hit, as we've thought. So I really lost with this type of conversation. I really do feel for both sides. I lean probably a little more in the sense that the 65 games shouldn't be that big a deal. I do think you're right that this season probably will go down as an anomaly. So I think that we have to kind of take that into consideration a little bit and maybe just step back a moment, breathe, and go, okay, maybe this season is just looks kind of crazy because this normally isn't the way. So hopefully.
Yeah, or you make a very good point that you see both sides of the argument. I totally agree. When this rule came out, I think everyone on this podcast was very pro the 65 games. Yeah. And I think because we haven't had a season like this where everyone's getting hurt, and I think that's just because of the way the game is played today. I mean, it's way higher pace. I guess guys are they're supposed to be like more athletic and more in shape, but I guess, because of how athletic and how in shape you have to be, you train more and there's more wear and tear in your body, which causes more injuries. So I was super pro the 65 game rule. If you didn't hit 65 games, I was like, too bad, you don't deserve any of these awards anyway. I have changed it a little bit. I do think there should be a minimum game requirement. I think it should just be lower, like 60 games, maybe even 55 is kind of, you missed a lot of games. But I think there could be, I know there's certain exceptions to the rule. Like Luka, his kid was born and he missed 2 games because he was out of the country. So like that could be an exception. I think if they, add a couple exceptions to the rule, like, if you miss, like you could have like a extended leave, like if you sprain your ankle and miss 2 weeks and then you're out of the race, like they could give you some leeway with that, whatever it is. But I do think they have to tweak the rule a little bit. I do think this year was partially an anomaly, but it also could just be the direction the league is going, where more guys are going to miss more games.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem is that a lot of these injuries, like a lot of them didn't become ineligible until less than a month before the season. So I think that's part of the reason why their thing is spiking up, and that's I think up until that happened with Luka and Ants, I think easily the most talked about one was Cade Cunningham because he was in talks to make first team, not even All NBA. He may have made first team All NBA if he never got hurt because he's leading the Pistons. He led the Pistons to be the first seed. So granted, the Pistons have played really well without him, but like I'm still giving full credit to Cade Cunningham for being like the leader of that team. Matt definitely made the best point about the wear and tear on the body. Me and Ori's friend Jeff, aka Basketball for Brains, who's not really that active anymore, but it's something that he talks about a lot. It's something that Matt and I talked about with our friend Tyler on a few months ago. It's just like it's harder to play 65 games, not just because of the wear and not just because of like the way spacing's worked out and athleticism, but it's just because these athletes today are just more worn and torn out from the years and years and years of playing and the hours and hours and hours they put into the game as teenagers even. So and it catches up to you more. Like I'm not by no means in mind validating how impressive it was for John Stockton to play 82 games for nearly 2 decades. Well, that's something that I don't think is physically possible anymore, given how competitive it is. So I told you guys this ahead of time, but like basically what I did was I counted Luka as eligible because I'm expecting him to win the appeal. But I will, however, be saying I'll say like in between each pick who I would have put there instead. So I don't know if you guys are the same. You can give your criteria too. And also, speaking of which, I'm going to give my criteria personally for the LME 18 specifically. So basically what I did was, obviously, I think this is the 3rd season now. I think it's the 3rd season now that I believe that they've made the All-NBA teams positionless. So, which seems to be a lot more popular than the 65-game rule. Not even seems to be, it definitely is more popular. And for the most part, I'm for it. But I do, however, think that there should be some, like, it's better than the old system. But the way that I'm doing it based on my way, which I've advocated for in the past. So rather than making completely positionless, I do think the positions still matter. So I did go the routes of I made it 2 guards, 2 front courts, and 1 wild card, and then filled in the blanks after that. So and I do think that, and for the most part, I do think that it worked out. Maybe there could have been some ways that could have been corrected here and there. But that's the way that I did it. Matt and Nori, I'm imagining that you guys probably just made yours positionless because, especially this year, I feel like it probably helps the argument of positionless more, given how many injuries there've been.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah, I was a little busy at work today, and then because of the injuries, I definitely made it positionless. So
yeah, no worries. So Ori, since you're the guest, and what we'll do is I think we'll each give our first team, and then we'll do second, then we'll do third. We'll do one team at a time rather than one person doing all 3 at a time. So you can go first, Ori. Start
with the first team.
Yep.
Well, okay, so I'm going to start with also saying that this was extraordinarily difficult. I did include Wemby. I know that.
Me too. I forgot that one was. I forgot that one's awesome too. Yes, I included.
Right, he's right there on the line. Yada yada. So but I did include Wemby. So Wemby is on my first team. I have SGA on my first team. I have Nikola Jokic on my first team. Then became the real issue. I have Kawhi Leonard.
Okay.
And Jaylen Brown to finish it out.
Perfect. So I'll go second, and so I got 4 out of the 5 guys in there because, like I said, I did include Luka. So, and you know what? Since I'm doing it one at a time, I will say that I'll say who I would have had instead of Luka. So, I personally, like I said, I went the angle of going like with some positions, but of some positions. So I went 2 guards. I went the 2 obvious ones. If Luka's going to be qualified, I'm going to have Luka be one of them, and I'm going to have Shea would have been the first one, but Shea and Luka, I think they've easily been the 2 best guards. I think there's a significant gap between the second and third. The 2 front court, again, these are 2 very easy picks. I'm going with Jokic, and I'm going to go with Wemby, which leads to the 1 wild card pick, which I ends up going with Jaylen Brown because of obviously the whole the whole argument there, like the whole argument that we've given for months now, which is the Celtics were supposed to be like in a rebuild mode, and and everyone except for Orry B said that they were going to be tanking and everything. I think Orry was one of the only people out there that you said at least 50 games. I thought you were crazy, but I just want to give you your props now.
I appreciate that, and we got to go back to the receipts way back. I also said Jaylen Brown was going to be like 94 Pippen, and I said he was going to make All NBA first team. And you know what? If I get validated for this, I'm going to make sure I keep those videos close.
Please do. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing a lot of posts coming out. Hey, told you so. For once.
Orry B, we also did the over-under pod for the Celtics. For all the NBA teams. And one of us out of me and Chris had the over for the Celtics. I'm not going to point fingers on who didn't have the over.
Oh. Yikes.
All right, Mike, give me your first team.
Very, very similar to you guys. Chris, you had SGA, Luka, Jaylen Brown, Jokic, Wemby.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, I counted Luka. I think he's going to win his appeal. I think he should win his appeal, and I also counted Wemby. So
I'm assuming that Wemby's going to go out there and just stand in the corner for 20 minutes because they're locked into the 2 seed. There's no reason. Yeah, it's not. I think that he's. I think it'll be shameless, but I do think that it's going to be. I think he's going to be cherry picking the entire time. But if he's going to win, if he's going to want to win deep point, going to want to be earns an All NBA team, then let him do it. And I really don't care, especially because it'll be game 82 probably. But
yeah, I think these guys should want to be All NBA too.
Yeah,
I think it's something to have some pride in.
Yeah,
and there's so many monetary incentives that they probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Especially Wemby. Yeah. All right, Orry. Who you got for your second team?
Oh goodness. So second team. I will say that traditionally, if Luka was healthy, that would be the swap. It would be Luka and Kawhi. Kawhi would be on my second team.
Okay.
For the record,
So I'll put Luka for your first team. In case he's eligible. Yeah, so I'll put that.
Right. Yeah. But Kawhi would be my guy on the second team with the Luka scenario turning out that way. But then the guys get a little weird. I maybe a little higher on this guy than a lot of people. I got Kevin Durant on my NBA second team. I've got Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a New York Knick on there.
All right.
I just, we'll talk about that later. And then I got the Chet Holmgren, and I have Devin Booker.
All right, Orry. I'm going to level with you. We started off hot there for being similar, but so I both have Kawhi and KD as well. So I'll say this: if I'm not even going to speak into existence the Wemby thing because I'd be shocked if he didn't do his thing. But if Luka does not win his appeal, I would have Tyrese Maxey there on first team All NBA. I know he kind of took his foot off the gas for a little bit there, but he was so filthy beginning of the year, and he still numbers wise is still as impactful as anyone else. So I have Tyrese Maxey, and then my second guard there would be my guy Donovan Mitchell. I know that the Cavs have been kind of disappointing this year, but that has not been his fault. The Cavs have been an awesome offense with him on the floor, one of the best in the league. And then my two front court guys, same as Orry. I got Kawhi and KD. KD's been very underrated this season. I think he's been a top 10 player, even though the Rockets have been a little disappointing. Again, not his fault. And then the last guy there, I actually have I have Jamal Murray, actually. I think that he's been very underrated this year. Not even that underrated. I just feel like it's more so that it's definitely his best regular season yet. Like, not to the level of like what he was in the bubble or like late in 2023, but still absolutely an all-star caliber player, and I think he's going to make definitely all NBA second or third team.
Yeah, but dude, his most consistent season ever. Like he's been an animal in the regular season, and hopefully that bodes well for the playoffs because Denver. Yeah, watch out for Denver if Jamal Murray is playing like this.
Absolutely. And Jokic missed some time, and Jamal Murray filled right in. Number one option.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris, you said your whole five, right?
I did.
All right, I have. I also have Kevin Durant on my second All-NBA second team. I also have Kawhi Leonard. I didn't realize how great Kawhi Leonard's numbers were this year. I know I know obviously the Clippers have been hot since the dreadful start, and he's the main reason, obviously. But he's been awesome. He's averaging 28 points. I didn't know it was that high. I have Jalen Brunson of the Knicks also on this team, and then to round it out, I have Donovan Mitchell and Tyrese Maxey.
Nice.
So it looks like Matt and I had the same exact thing, except that, and like, yeah, it was literally like the last two guys. I was back and forth between Brunson and Jamal Murray. So, which like, yeah, I kind of give it away. So, or if you don't mind, I'm going to jump you here.
Yeah, do what you're gonna do.
Yeah. So with my third team, I have Jalen Brunson's my first guard, but then my next guard would be James Harden, actually, who, which it's crazy how like a guy who demanded a trade. Like, I don't even know if it's demanded. I feel like I don't even know what happened with the Clippers there. I think it was just, yeah, like I think it was like, okay, yeah, we don't know if we want you long term. Then he says, okay, so then trade me then. So, but yeah, which is like the least dramatic trade that he's ever demanded for. And I don't even know if it's demanded. I think it was just I think this one was just a request. But yeah, so Brunson, Harden, my two guards. My two front courts would be, first off would be Jalen Johnson, which I'll say it's both of them. It's Jalen Johnson and Jalen Duren. I don't even know which one I wanted to say first because both of them have been great this year. Maybe I'd probably put Duren ahead of Johnson if I had to choose between the two. But yeah, I think he's been more impactful on a better team, even though Johnson's been phenomenal this year. Putting up awesome stats. I know that some people are saying like, oh, he's not as good as the stat sheet says, which probably true, but I still think he's very impactful on the court. And the last guy is a super tough one. I listed off like a few honorable mentions, which I'll talk about afterwards, but I did decide to go with Scotty Barnes because the Raptors have been playoff caliber team this year, and he's been the main reason for that. So there's a handful of options I could have gone with, but Scotty Barnes was the last guy to make my All-NBA team.
I love that. That's a high quality pick. Toronto's been underrated all season, and they've been really consistent, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know who you got for your third team.
Quality. So if we matched on, I have Brunson, I have Harden. The only difference is I have Maxey, and I have this is going to be the one that people laugh at, and maybe he doesn't deserve it, maybe he does, but my last two would be Denny Avdija and Alperen Sengun.
Those were both guys that I was thinking about for sure.
Avdija is, and I know I'm probably butchering his name, but what a breath of fresh air for Portland. I mean, to be in a play-in scenario, to have a competitive season, and you watch that guy play, and he's fantastic. I mean, really, a great scorer from all three levels, and just a prominent number one option that seems to be willing to take the role. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and people forget like the whole Chauncey Billups gambling controversy, like he ran illegal poker games, was this year, and they kind of just kept it going. And Denny Avdija was born in 2001. He's only 25 years old. He's super young.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. Breath of fresh air for Portland. Great shout. I don't have him on my team, but good shout. Portland's got some young guys. I've been a Portland Trailblazers not fan, but I've been pushing their agenda for the last 2 years. I think they're better than people give them credit for. All right. So I had very similar third teams to you guys. Instead of having on my second team, my third team, I have Jamal Murray. Just to echo what you guys said, he's been great all year. Big fan of Jamal Murray. I think this is the year he makes his first All-NBA team. I also had Scotty Barnes on this team, along with Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Johnson, and Jalen Duren. I was thinking about putting Denny, Sengun, or Chet on this team over Scotty Barnes, being totally honest, but I decided to go with Scotty just because, Raptors have been solid all year. They didn't have high expectations. I think their over-under beginning of the year was like 35.5, Chris, if I remember correctly. It was pretty low. And Brandon Ingram, I know his numbers have been okay. A lot of his advanced metrics has been pretty bad, and Scotty has kind of been carrying the load on that team. He's definitely the number one on that team, so I'm going to give it to Scotty Barnes.
Perfect.
Nice.
I will say it's kind of nobody had Chet on their third team, right?
I did not know.
It's kind of interesting that the Thunder are. I'm looking up their record right now. Are 64-16, and we only have one player that made an All-NBA team. I think that just kind of shows how well-rounded that team is and how many good players they have, and instead of being top heavy.
So, and I want to add in one more guy that we haven't mentioned yet because, I have my spreadsheet up right now, and my last guy was So my last three I said it was between Scotty, Chet, and Sengun. I went with Scotty because he was he's the only one that was the clear number one option on his team. Maybe go with ceiling raising. Chet's probably the guy, but I'm fine with not leaving that in for factoring in all NBA teams. But
sure.
I'll say so. Like again, if Luka does not qualify, the way that would work out was I would move Tyrese Maxey to my to my first team, then the two guards would be for my second team would be Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray, which means the third guy for the I think the third, yeah. So like the third wildcard guy would probably be Jalen Brunson. I guess he's probably like the best guy from my third team. I guess probably, yeah. He's that definitely actually, which means the last guard I think would actually, believe it or not, it's a guy who I've criticized a ton. It would probably be LaMelo Ball. Honestly, he's I know like his numbers haven't been as good, but it's been easily his best year as far as it goes for like efficiency and his defense, and also winning, of course. So. I don't think he's going to get an All-NBA team this year, like unless like a lot of those guys don't qualify. But yeah, like I just want to tip my cap to LaMelo Ball because he's been much better than I expected for sure.
Solid poll. That's a good call.
Yeah, Chris, I totally agree with that. And they talked about when the Celtics were playing the Hornets. What was that, Tuesday? They were on Peacock, so it was the national broadcast, and they talked about how Con Knipple and the Zion James and Big Kalkbrenner, the guys they drafted, were such like a breath of fresh air and like, to use Ori's term, but like such a energy shift in the locker room, and it's kind of helped with their preparation. And LaMelo said it like kind of kept him healthy this year. He's played in 70 games this year.
That's awesome.
It's because I drafted him last year in fantasy, not this year.
Right.
That's why. But besides the point. But I do like that shout, Chris.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And I'll say one more thing though. So, you know what I said that we'd factor in like if like these guys were healthy, but like I'm not gonna do that because like it would throw up too many things. But yeah, like as much as I could say, okay, it would be second team if this, then I would move this around. I'm not gonna do that though because it's too confusing and we don't get paid enough. We don't get paid enough to many things around. So
dive down that rabbit hole.
Yes. So we're not gonna do that now. But anyway, yeah. So now we'll move on to the all defensive team and I'll just fire away both my first and second team. Yeah. If you guys want to give yours, be my guest. But I also know that it's the toughest. So with my all defensive team, I feel like this one's a little bit different to where the analysts actually do. I feel like most of them do it based on position a little more because the roles are so different. And I know everyone says that centers are more impactful than guards, which they are, but I do think that having like a great point of attack and a great chaser defender are very, very valuable. Like you can't win a lot of games with having like two bum defensive guards at the top of the key. Like it's you, as great as like you can have like a guy like Wemby or a guy like Rudy Gobert down there, you need to have solid perimeter guys as well if you want to have an elite defense. So that's why I think it's important to have like a little bit of both. So with that being said, I did, yeah. So I was thinking about doing like, okay, maybe I'll do like one point of attack guy, one rim defender, and one chaser. But I decided like, you know what, that'll just be too confusing. So I just did the same thing that I did for my All NBA team. So I just did 2 guards, 2 front courts, and a wild card. So I'll do the front court first. The 2 obvious ones. I shouldn't say 2 obvious ones because people just seem to disagree with me, but. The 2 front, so one of them being Wemby, obviously. I know that's the minutes restriction and everything, but I think that Wemby has been the best, and I think that Rudy Gobert has been the second best defensive player in the league. Which, but I was listening to Zach Lowe yesterday. Yeah, both he and Rob Mahoney seem to agree that they think that Chet Holmgren was the. I think they said like the gap between 1 and 2 was smaller than the gap between 2 and 3, which I strongly disagree with. But I think that Gobert versus Chet is very much an argument, even though I'd Gobert now. Yeah, so giveaway Chet would be my wild card there. And then for my 2 guard defenders, I put Derek White and Dyson Daniels. Derek White has been phenomenal this year in defense. I know that's I know like a lot of the guys at Player's Choice tend to downgrade him. But that being said, like the Celtics are like 6 or 8. I think it's either 6 or 8 points better on defense with Derek White on than off. Like that's spectacular. I know that Orry made the video today about what is it? I think he has like there's like no other guard besides MJ and D Wade have like more steals and assists in the same season. So that's phenomenal company. And then Dyson Daniels is very similar in the same boat as Derek White. So where he's like stocking up, no pun intended, like stocking up a bunch of steals and blocks, and also he's another one where the Hawks are just so much better. And I pulled up the numbers earlier. I don't have them off the top of my head, but the Hawks are just so much better defensively with Dyson Daniels on the floor than off the floor. So yeah, I'll get my second team afterwards. I've kind of on a roll here, but does anyone have any feedback as to did I leave anyone off the first team? Should I put anyone else on there? What do we think?
That's what I would have had, I think, in full, because I was going back and forth with Derek White, and I ended up going with Derek White, and I think you're right that he's had a season in which he's really showcased that he's a master of those intangibles and just an elite shot blocker. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous to have a guy his size be such an elite shot blocker. So I mean, kudos to Derek White, and yeah, I mean, I think that he deserves it. I think that for the bigs, it's Gobert, Wemby, and Chet. You know, they have to be there somewhere, and so I would probably go the three bigs and the two littles, just like that.
Yeah, I had 4 out of your 5, Chris. I have Rudy Gobert, Chet Holmgren, and Wemby. I do agree that those are, the top 3. I also have Derek White. I think he's 2 blocks away from 100 blocks. I know you said the D Wade and MJ are the only 2 guys that have more blocks. Pretty good company, I would say. The top 3 shooting guards just all time. If we're going to talk about it, I think Derek White is on it.
If he gets those 2 blocks, he will be the only player in NBA history to have 100 blocks and over 200 3-pointers made.
That's crazy.
Wow,
it's such a crazy. And then my last player I have on the first team is Asar Thompson. The Pistons defense is unbelievable this year, and he is a huge reason for it. Definitely. I know their identity, Cade, obviously the best player on the team, elite offensive player, good on defense too, but their identity and the reason that they're the 1 seed is because of the defensive end, and I think truly he's a main reason for it.
Absolutely.
I love that pick.
Yeah, Asar would have been so he's definitely he's second team for me for sure. And the other guard on the second team would have been Cason Wallace, who has been very good for the Thunder. Again, like he's kind of everyone loves Alex Caruso, but I feel like Cason Wallace is like a slightly worse version of Alex Caruso, who plays a lot more minutes. So I feel like he's definitely more valuable there. And I kind of went the route of like a traditional defensive 5 here because I got 2 wings. I could like 2 wing helpers. I got OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes, both. OG has always been known for his defense. Scotty's always been good, but like this year he really became an elite defender. And the last center that I got is Bam Adebayo, who I think has an argument to be definitely has an argument to be like third, like top 3 in DPOY. So I only let him off because I feel like it would have been a little silly to have too many centers there, but he's still been I still think he's a top 5 defender in the league.
That's high quality. And he put up 83 points. I mean, goodness. The dude is an absolute beast.
Yeah.
That's right on.
Uh-huh. I also want to give a shout out to Evan Mobley as well. I know that I think that he's currently getting a bad rep just because everyone expects him to become like a superstar. I think Zach Lowe said yesterday. But I still think that he's a top 20, 25 player in the league. I think that people were just expecting him to be like top 15 this year, which he hasn't been. But I still think he's a very good player, and I still think that he's definitely top 10 defender in the league, and I think debatably top 5 as well.
Yeah, that was going to be the only person I was going to bring up was Evan Mobley, just because I think that he does have a high ceiling defensively, and same with if he's healthy, Jaren Jackson Jr. is in that same boat as high defensive ceiling. So.
Absolutely. Don't say Jaren Jackson's name in front of Chilltown because he'll yell at you for having a center. He's a power forward, but like a power forward who averages like 4 or 5 rebounds a game. That's his least.
I did never understand that. I feel like don't you accidentally get more rebounds than that?
Honestly, I
feel like I was walking to more rebounds than that.
Luke Kennard has a higher career high in rebounds now than Jaren Jackson Jr. after he had a triple-double the other day.
That's just ridiculous. Yeah. Like it was, who else was like that? Not to go on a rant or anything, but remember Roy Hibbert? Roy Hibbert, the Indiana Pacers. Big, tall, just strong guy, couldn't grab a board for the life of him. I remember he had some games with the Pacers in the playoffs where he'd have like 2 or 3 rebounds, and you're like, dude, you like accidentally, should get more than that. That just doesn't make any sense. So it's rebounding and being a big man. I definitely understand it. Chilltown's great.
Another one. Brook Lopez never averaged his career high is 8.6 rebounds. He's never averaged 9 rebounds a game. He was not always a stretch big.
No, true enough.
Wow.
Grab some boards, dude. Come on.
Yeah. What the hell is he doing? Yeah, get under there, man.
All right, so now we're gonna hop into the actual awards. So
Well,
Yeah.
are we doing second team or are we just doing first team?
You can give your second team for sure. Yeah. I gave mine already. Yeah. On the USZ. Yeah. Give your second team. Absolutely. Yeah.
Or do you have your second team or?
No, I was basically in agreement with him. So
Okay. Sorry. So I have, you said OG Anunoby. I have OG Anunoby on my list. I do have Bam Adebayo on my list. One of the only few guys in the league that can truly guard 1 through 5.
Yeah.
I used to think Bam was a little overrated, but now I think he's kind of underrated. With I feel like it varies. I feel like on the spectrum, that's what happens with a lot of players, that they're either underrated, then they become overrated, and they go back. I like Bam's game a lot. I have Evan Mobley in my 5 as well. And then to round it off, I have Dyson Daniels, and this name hasn't been mentioned, Stephon Castle. That dude is absolutely clamps.
Nice.
I love Stephon Castle.
Great shout.
Yes, excellent shout. Yes, good job.
Yeah, and there's the thing that people are saying, you're trapped in the castle, which that just certified him being on my all defensive team.
Yeah.
Also, quick shout out to Isaiah Stewart, who totally would have been on my list if he hit the 65 game mark. He's like 10 games off of it, so he won't get it. But big fan. He is awesome on defense, especially the games the Celtics played the Pistons. When he was on the floor, he totally changed the game. Total enforcer vibes guy. Big fan. I don't know if he's even in like conversations of elite defender. I know he didn't hit the 65 game mark, but if he did, I don't know if he would be in the conversations. He totally should be. I think Isaiah Stewart is an elite defender.
Yeah, he gives you some Ben Wallace vibes, right?
Just angry and
yeah. I appreciate him quite a bit. That's a good shout out too.
All right, yeah. So yeah, great stuff, guys. Always love talking some defense on the spot. So now we're gonna dive into the awards, and we'll start off with we'll take a pause on players for now. We'll do coach of the year. I'm wondering if there's a limit for coaches, like if they if like a Chris Finch situation happens where like he gets run over by a player and then dislocates his knee and has to sit out for a couple weeks. I'm wondering if that's a thing where they say like, nope, sorry, you didn't go, you weren't standing on the bench. Like if you were sitting in the back of the bench for too long, you can't win this award. Like granted, I think that would happen anyway, but like I wonder if that's the thing. I feel like that's probably not in the rules, but maybe it should be. I don't know.
Might as well add it for the coaches. Yeah, give them a 65 game rule.
Yeah, Chris, and great shout.
Yeah.
Great call about, if they're sitting on the bench or not. It's like you got to play the 20 minutes. You got to be standing for at least 38 of the 40 minutes every game for it to count.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so for all of these awards except for MVP, we will do top 3. So MVP will be top 5. But Orry, you want to tell us your top 3 coach of the year candidates? You can go 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So this one was this is mind over heart. I'm going to just say that right now. I'll give my heart wanted to pick. Nonetheless, we'll start with 3 is Mitch Johnson from San Antonio.
Great.
The Spurs having an excellent season. Really surprised a lot of people by being this competitive this early. I think people put them a little further along. Didn't think they'd be this good, so he deserves it. This is where my heart and brain kind of crash. I have Joe Mazzulla as number 2. I think he does have a compelling argument for number 1. I would make that argument. But I have JB Bickerstaff as the coach of the year for the Pistons. I think they just overperform so much that it's really hard not to give it to them.
Yeah, that's a great pick. So for my I'll give my honorable mention first. My honorable mention next went to Quinn Snyder, who like I was never really a huge fan of. Like I knew he did a good job in Utah, but I feel like what it was that the Celtics Hawks series back in 2023, he was really annoying. I just remember watching him, like he was always yelling at the refs. Like I just, so like since then I'm like, oh, this guy kind of sucks. But no, this year you get my respect again because the Hawks had high expectations and then they were very disappointing and then they ended up trading Trae Young and then and then like once he was gone, Snyder was like, okay, let's build a new identity. And then the Hawks have been one of the best teams in the league since the All-Star break. So shout out to him, but I need like a bigger sample size though. Third one, I actually went to Mel Otts of the Phoenix Suns, who they were another team. They were just supposed to be not good at all. Now I think they're locked into the 17 now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
you're right.
So they're like playing tournament, but but who knows? Maybe they'll make the playoffs. But I definitely think that he's been great this year. And then we had the same 1 and 2, just not the same order. I did go JB Bickerstaff second and Joe Mazzulla first. So yes. Yeah, so I don't. I don't mind it at all if you want to put. what do you call? Yeah, if you want to put Biggerstaff 1, Missoula 2, because both of them surpassed expectations for sure. I do think that Missoula. It's one of those things because I feel like a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, Biggerstaff should have won last year because the Pistons went from 14 to 42 wins." But I can easily fire back and say Missoula should have won in 20. I had him winning in 2024 when the Celtics won 64 games when they, and I know a lot went well for them, but also like a lot didn't go well for them either. Like they had like a few things, and you could even say in 2023 as well when Missoula wasn't hired until a week before training camp, and and then like he like went through a lot, like he had to like rebuild the culture there. So Missoula's done a flawless job, and if he doesn't win Coach of the Year this year, like I'm fine with Biggerstaff winning it, but I'm very happy to say the least that like at least he's getting his flowers from some people because again, after the Heat series in 2023 and even last year after the Knicks series, he was getting a ton of slander, but this year he's definitely getting his flowers, which I'm happy to say for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Ori and I had the same three. I had Mitch Johnson as three, but Chris, we had the same 1 and 2. I have Joe Mazzulla winning it as well. You went with your mind over your heart. I'm going with my heart over my mind. But yeah, I love Joe Mazzulla, and I think the biggest thing with him has been his growth. I know it's a single year award, but from when he took over in 2023 to now, he has become such a better coach. And he still has flaws, don't get me wrong. He had a ton of flaws in 2023, and I thought he was going to be this like stubborn guy that was kind of like a jerk to the media that was too stubborn to admit that he was wrong and change, but he's the opposite of that. He's such a psychopath, and he is like obsessive that he wants to be, this perfect basketball coach, and that's what he has been close to this year. The guys that he's getting production out of, I mean, they are good NBA players now, but if you look at the beginning of the year and you told me like Luka Garza, Baylor Sharman, Neemias Queta, Jordan Walsh, Hugo Gonzalez, who averaged 5 points in Spain, are all going to be key contributors. Yeah, that's just a shout out to the entire developmental staff and coaching staff of the Boston Celtics, but especially Joe Mazzulla. He gets the best out of his guys every night.
Damn straight.
Absolutely.
Chris, next week, if we just want to talk about Joe Mazzulla for the hour, that could be we could do that,
and then we could run the town afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would be an extra long episode.
Yep. All right, so now we'll go with Rookie of the Year. I would say, or we could probably skip you because we know who you're going to pick. But but just in case, we'll do the same thing. You give us your 3, 2, 1.
Me or Ori? Sorry,
Ori.
Oh, you did one. I thought you wanted to skip me because you knew what I was going to say. But
no, I was just messing with you. No, go ahead. Yeah.
But yes, this one was hard for the third guy. I think that was the most difficult part. I went back and forth. Honorable mention goes to VJ Edgecombe. I think a lot of people probably would have him in that conversation. He's my honorable mention. I have Dylan Harper 3. Then I have Con Knipple, which obviously then means I have Cooper Flagg as the Rookie of the Year. I watched a lot of him just in general, and I knew this kid was going to be special, and I just this is proving it. I think he's really trying to put a stamp on the end of the season and show people what he's capable of, and I think that should impress people. And if it goes to Knipple, no big deal, but Flagg's where I'm going.
So I don't mind the Dylan Harper over VJ Edgecombe at all. But Dylan Harper's been awesome this year. He's been a great bench player for the I think he started a few games, but he's been a great guy off the bench for the Spurs. Like at first I thought that he was going to struggle fitting in with both Fox and Castle, but he's been very, very good. I did go with VJ though, because he has had the higher ceiling all year long and has been a bit a more of a contributor, which who knows, maybe Parker was on a worse team, he'd put up better stats than VJ, who knows. But I did go with VJ because he's been a little more consistent. But I did end up going with Con Knipple over Cooper Flagg for Rookie of the Year. Again, super tight. Cooper Flagg has I think a lot of the beginning of the year Con kind of ran with it, but Cooper has definitely tightened the gap for the past month. So which I also want to make clear, if a draft tomorrow starts and if I need to redraft and says okay, you have these guys for the next 10 years, or do you want? I'm taking Cooper Flagg 10 times out of 10. But this is if we're evaluating based on who's been better this season. I think the Con has been slightly better. Cooper has the better counting stats like PRA, steals, and blocks, but on both, like, I'm pretty sure Khan has been slightly better on defense, and also the biggest gap is in true shooting, which I think the Cooper averages 3 more points per game, and that like everything else has been kind of close. But the true shooting, I think Khan has a 63.7 true shooting, and then Cooper Havlag has a 54.6. So, and like I don't factor this in too much, but like like I know the rookie of the year is like the one award that which you shouldn't factor in winning. And I'm not really factoring in winning. I'm more so factoring in that Khan has been a key contributor to winning. Like it's one thing if you're which again, that's not why I'm choosing Khan, but it's more so just a thing that helps this case.
Absolutely. It makes sense.
Yeah, I love the Dylan Harper love. Shout out New Jersey that you guys have. I have VJ Edgecombe as my 3, but really, it's a 2-man race between Khan and Cooper Flagg. I went with Cooper Flagg just because he was asked to do more. Like they had him running point at the beginning of the year, even though he's not a point guard, just so to see what he could do to improve his playmaking for the future. And I know Chris, you said Khan has been more efficient all year, which he has been. But Cooper Flagg is averaging 21, 7, and 5 with 2.1 stocks a game.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's truly a generational player. I didn't know he was going to be this good this quickly. He is awesome to watch, and so is Con Knipple. If Con Knipple wins, I like Con Knipple too. I'm a proud student of the Con Academy. I have been all year, but I love Cooper Flagg. The main event, I think the Mavericks yelling "Flag" during the national anthem is awesome. I'm all in on both of these guys, but I'm slight edge to Cooper Flagg this year.
Nice.
Awesome stuff, guys. Yeah. So that's good too to run, but I'm perfectly fine with that. So now we'll go on to 6th man of the year. If I'm being honest, I'm pretty sure that I struggled with this one the most. Like I feel like it's usually like a very easy one. I don't know if there wasn't really an easy one this year. I feel like it's been pretty close. I'm interested to see what your approach was, Orry.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. This was one of those ones that it didn't feel like a wash. I'm not going to say that I just was like, oh, well, I guess it's an easy thing, but it kind of was. This was a tough one. My 6th man of the year, I went Malik Monk, Jaime Haskins Jr., and Keldon Johnson. I have as my number 1 from San Antonio. I think he's been super impactful. Really has developed into that role as a 6th man, and I think that he impacts the game in a lot of different ways and has been a key contributor to a very good team. So that's the route that I went.
So yeah, we have a similar list with similar in the sense, but however, my number 1 didn't make your top 3. But yeah, I personally have for number 3, I have that was my thing. But yeah, number 3, I also have Jaime Jaquez. He's been very solid this year. I know that the Heat have been better than expected. And yeah, I feel like he's been a reason for that. I feel like once he has like an actual supporting cast, he'll be a really good contributor. I have Keldon at number 2. If I'm being honest, I think I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it because he definitely does, but I feel like the recent campaigning for like self-campaigning has definitely helped him climb up on the list for sure. But at number 1, this is one of those things where like I don't know how many guys actually deserve it, but so I'm going to go with the guy that has won it before. I'm going to go with Naz Reid. Jersey Shore legends. So always been a big Naz Reid guy. I think he won it back in 2024, sandwiched in between the Peyton Pritchard Malcolm Brogdon awards. So always been a big Naz Reid guy. I'm happy that he got his payday. So and I hope that I don't think he's gonna win it, but he would have my vote for 6th man of the year.
That's super solid. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So I had Reed Shepherd as my 3. He won't win Most Improved. I don't think, and he was a 3rd overall pick 2 years ago, so I don't think he should win Most Improved. But he definitely has.
Matt, this is 6th man, not Most Improved.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, it is. Okay, got it. Yeah.
This is just another shout. I don't think he'll win Most Improved.
Aside, yeah.
Yeah, but he should be nominated. He's not in my top 3. Spoiler alert. But shout out him for also Most Improved. He made a lot of leaps this year. Jaime Jaquez is my number 2. I do have Keldon Johnson as my 6th man of the year. He's averaging 13, 5.4, and 1.4, is it? On elite efficiency. And the thing I love about Keldon Johnson, he's played every game this year. He's played all 80 games so far. He hasn't started a game, which is pretty cool. And 3 years ago, he was taking 18 shots on this team. He was supposed to be like one of their franchise cornerstones. And obviously, he averaged 22 points a game. They draft Wemby. Obviously, he's not going to be the franchise with Wemby. And he was totally fine taking a step back and going to the bench and just contributing to winning. He could have been annoying and, gone to another team and, started another team and, taken 20 shots elsewhere, but he decided to win. And I think that is such a key, important. That's like the main part of being an elite six man is to bring a spark off the bench and contribute to winning. And that's exactly what Keldon Johnson does.
Nice.
Good stuff.
That's well put.
Give me 1 second. Yeah. Love that for sure. Sorry. So up next we do have most improved. I would say, I spent the most. I spent like not the most time. I should say I struggled the most with six man. I struggled the second most with most improved for sure because it was more so like I was very confident in my top two, but the third one is what I struggled with the most. I'm not sure if you felt the same way, Orry.
Okay. You know how we talked about earlier, the heart overhead. I went with my heart on this one.
Oh,
so
okay.
This is, you guys are gonna probably know already what I'm gonna say.
Actually, I actually don't. But like,
here we go.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So most improved. I in the third spot, I have Neemias Queta.
Yes,
let's go.
Queta deserves it. He has played so well. I just saw that he just did a stat that like only Robert Parrish has done. He's the energy, just what he's been compared to what he was just a season ago. I think Queta just really deserves a strong shout out. So he had to make my top three. Then after that, it becomes probably a little more basic. I have Denny Avdija as number 2. I think that he really took a step up, becoming a number 1 option and just, proving that, he could be an all NBA option. I think that is a big deal. And then number 1, I have Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the Atlanta Hawks. I think that what he did in making the Trae Young transition be nothing, like literally nothing. Like they lost Trae Young and got better and just didn't drop a step. And they look like a young team on the up and up now. They don't look like they're held back by their, typical mediocrity that Atlanta tends to face. They look exciting. So yeah, that would be the way I'd go right now.
All right. So yeah, I have very similar. I didn't have the guts to put Queta in my top 3. As much I do think he has an argument, but it's more so just along the lines of he does have a great argument just because he was literally he was the 4th string center last year. Now he's the starting center on a top 2 team in the East. So I definitely think that there's an argument, but it's more so like these guys were contributors to like a key contributors. Let's say like when at the end of the day, Queta is still like the 4th or 5th best player in the team. So for my number 3, so number 3 is the one that I had the toughest with, but I decided to go with Orry's number 1, and that is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He definitely has an argument to be number 1, and he's not only is the argument, I think he's the overwhelming favorite now, but I would have liked just a little more consistency from the jump. But again, but if you think that the second half of the year outbounds everything, then I'm perfectly fine with that. At number 2, I have Denny Avdija. He's been he's been awesome this year. From the jump, he's been a very key contributor to a team that's going to make the playoffs probably. And the last guy hasn't been mentioned yet, but I decided to go Jalen Duren. He's been he's someone who had potential from the starts. But this year he made the All-Star game and been the second best player, and then for a long stretch being the best player on best team in the East. So shout out Jalen Duren.
That's a great pick. Duren's a high quality choice.
Yeah,
I had him in my honorable mentions. So
yeah, Chris, we had the exact same 3, but just the opposite order. I had Jalen Duren at my 3. He increased his points per game by 8 from last year, and he's anchoring an elite defense, as I mentioned earlier. Denny Avdija was my 2. He's increased his points per game by 7, but also is averaging 3 more assists this year. So it's taken on a bigger role and, is doing a good job with it. And my number 1 is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's increased his points per game by 11.5. And while doing this, his efficiency has gone up from just normal field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and the free throw line. So all three
Yeah.
levels, efficiency's going up. Very impressive season by him.
It's actually funny because when I was like doing my like advanced stats like spreadsheets to like see who earned the All NBA team, like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, like he didn't have an argument to get there, but like if there were like 5 All NBA teams, like he probably would have made it, which like using my criteria, which is pretty sick to think about for sure.
All NBA 5th team.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it just shows how impressive of a season he had for sure. So yeah, what do we have?
The Celtics are letting the Knicks take wide open threes right now. It's an interesting strategy.
That's lovely. What's 6-point
my
game?
favorite strategy.
It's 63 to 55 right now. I could be behind though.
I think it's 57 now. So
all right. Good possession here, boys.
Yes. So I'll be honest. I didn't dive into the clutch player of the year at all, mainly because it's a new award. Shea's going to win because he has the best clutch stats. He has a few buzzer beaters. He's been the best player in the league this year. So I'll go Shea, but I don't know if anyone else really has an argument. I think there's a couple that might, but
it was SGA easy for me. I thought maybe Jamal Murray because he's had some moments.
Yeah,
but other than that, I think SGA is the easy answer. Yeah, you're right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I also have SGA. I think he was like minus whatever to win, like minus 2,500. Jamal Murray is the only other player on Kalshi. Then they have Anthony Edwards with less than a 1% chance to win. Okay. Kalshi not sponsored, by the way. No free ads.
No, it is not. Yeah, unfortunately. All right. So yeah, so then we'll dive into. So we got 2 more. We're gonna go defensive player of the year now, which we kind of dove into some of those with the all defensive teams, but it's kind of again we got kind of like a full circle because we start off with all NBA teams, then all defense, then we finish off with kind of in reverse. We go with all defense, we go to deep point and MVP. So I like that. Yeah. So Orry, who are your top 3 defensive player of the year candidates?
So this obviously depends really fully on the qualification of Victor Wembanyama. We all know that if he qualifies, the entire thing changes. So I acted as if he was going to qualify. So number 3, I have Rudy Gobert, still a tremendous defender, still leading a tremendous still doing what he's supposed to do. Rudy Gobert's 3. Number 2 is Chet Holmgren, fantastic defender as well, great rim protector, really just has a knack for it. And then Victor Wembanyama would be my number 1 choice. And then if he wasn't there naturally, I think the award would go to Chet, in my opinion.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of mentioned I mentioned this earlier when I was picking my front court, but yeah, in order 3. I'm not going to dive too into it, but 3, I have Chet Holmgren. 2, I have Rudy Gobert. 1, I have Wemby. Wemby, self-explanatory, and I didn't mention this last time, but I did go Gobert over Chet because I do believe that I forgot what the numbers were exactly, but I think I'm pretty sure I think that the numbers of I forgot what it was exactly, but I think the defensive rating with Gobert on the court is similar to the defensive rating with Chet off the court. So Gobert's just clearly more impactful, especially because it's like an 8-point difference defensively. Obviously, Chet's more versatile, but I think impact-wise, I think that Gobert is pretty easily more impactful. But then again, Chet also has great defenders around him, so it's hard to have great impact numbers when you have all great defenders around you.
That's a valid argument. I think it definitely could be a compelling argument to be made. And if Wemby doesn't make it, 5-time winner Rudy Gobert could be right around the corner.
That would be so funny.
That's going to piss off Shaq a lot.
What doesn't piss off Shaq a lot, by the way, though?
Seriously.
Conversation for another day.
Yeah.
All right, next week we're doing Joe Mazzulla talk, the town, and then what doesn't piss off Shaquille O'Neal. That'll be the agenda. All right, for deep point, I'm going to give my top 4.
Okay.
Derek White is number 4. That's why I'm giving my top 4. I love you, Derek White.
Nice.
I love you.
Let's go. Yes.
3, same 3. Rudy Gobert, Chet Holmgren, and Victor Wembanyama. I'm a fan of I'm a member of Rudy Gobert FC this year, strictly to push All-American Hoopers agenda and to piss off our friends in our fantasy basketball group chat. So I'm a Rudy Gobert stan now.
I love
I'm
it.
looking.
I love it.
I'm looking for a vice president, by the way. No one stepped up because, like not even a vice president because
I'm running unopposed.
Yeah. Okay. Who's already go? Wait, no. No, I'm the vice president. My friend Tyler, aka Hufenyu, who I debated on the Jokic debate, he's actually the president. I'm the vice president. So I take that back.
I knew I liked that guy when he was on here. I knew I liked him.
Yeah. So, awesome. Yeah. So it sounds like we agree on that. So now we will give our top 5 MVP candidates.
God.
We kind of did this for all NBA teams, but this is gonna be more in order. I didn't go in order. Obviously, one position order. Or you've been going first all along. So why don't you give your top 5 MVP candidates from 5 to 1?
All right, so 5 to 1. I don't want to extend this too long, but this was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, and I feel like that means that the guy that I have number 1 is going to get the award. But I have in 5th place, if he makes it, and I think he will, I have Luka Doncic. I think he will get his appeal through. I think he's going to have the games. Luka's going to be my number 5. Number 4, I have Jaylen Brown. I think he had an excellent season. I think the narrative fits him. I think everything goes with what he's had. I think there's just no argument that really is as good as Jalen's, to be honest. But I know that the other guys are just having ridiculous transcendent seasons. Then I have Nikola Jokic 3rd, which was the hardest 3rd place that I've ever had to put in my entire life. He could have very easily been 1, and I still think he is 1, but mind over hearts. SGA, I have number 2, which then leads to, if he qualifies, I think Victor Wembanyama is going to be the MVP of this league.
Wow.
Okay.
I like that, Orry B. I like it.
So, I had a hard time going that way, but it just, the evidence was pushing me that way. So So
I have a different order. So I personally have Jaylen Brown number 5. I'm gonna piss off my fellow Celtics fans here. I think there's an argument for Kawhi Leonard to be put over Jaylen Brown. I understand the whole the narrative. The narrative definitely goes Jaylen's way because of the team success and everything, and that's a valid narrative. By the way, it's not I'm not just saying he's only there because of team success, but because I can see. But if we look at it face value, Kawhi does have the better stats, and it both counting and impact wise. But obviously I picked Jaylen for this because of the fact that he led his team to the top 2 seed. So and he's been more consistent for sure. But 4th place I would have Luka. But if he doesn't win his appeal, I'd have Jaylen at 4 and Kawhi at 5. 3rd place I would have Wemby because of the I think he has a great argument for sure to be 1 or 2, but he does have the highest on off out of all the MVP candidates, but I think that Shea and Jokic have been more Jokic kind of slowed down, but I think that he's been filthy to finish off the season and he's getting hot at the right time. Because of that, I do have Jokic at 2 and I do have Shea at 1.
Nice.
All right, I have pretty similar 5 to you guys. I have Kawhi Leonard at my 5th spot.
Nice.
His numbers were unbelievable. Right before the show started, I looked up a player comparison. He was one of them. I was like, oh my God. So Kawhi's at 5. Jaylen Brown's at 4. Elite year from him. I love you, Jaylen Brown. Come on the pod. 3 is Victor Wembanyama. 2, I actually have SGA. And number 1, I have Nikola Jokic. And it is a flawed way to think about it, but I just thought if you take Jokic off the Nuggets, they're worse than if you take SGA off the Thunder.
Yeah.
The term valuable. It's a stupid way to look at it. If you want to give it to SGA, totally get it. I mean, they won 68 games. And they won 68 games, and he's the only All-NBA player on my list, and I still don't have him winning MVP. But it's Jokic for me. I think best player in the league. He's the MVP.
It's weird that best player in the league, arguably having the best season of all time, is going to be a 3rd place finisher probably, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
This must be how Wilt Chamberlain felt in 1962. When he got
Russell deserved it.
Awesome. All right. So, that's our show. Obviously, I'm really happy we were able to get an award show out before the end of the season. Next week, we'll be back to give our playoff prediction. John will be back for that. So it'll be our playoff prediction. The brackets will be set for the most parts. Not the playing tournament brackets, but we'll have enough evidence to make our full prediction though. Excuse me. And then after that, the playoffs will be ready to start. So we're very, very excited for that.
Yes.
Anyway, but to go finish watching the Celtics game. Hopefully they make a comeback. They're down like 15 now, so hopefully hopefully they close the gap. But if not, no big deal. We still got 2 more games to take the 2 seed. But if not, that's also no big deal because home court advantage clearly doesn't matter anymore. But we'll see what happens anyway. But anyway, this has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Orry, Matt, thanks for coming on. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at All American Hooper on TikTok and on Instagram, at American Hooper on Twitter. Check out additional content, Fluent vs. Chill vs. Everyone, with myself, Orry, Tony, Chilltown, and Jalen. Be sure to check out my column, which I'll be releasing 2 articles next week. And obviously, be sure to check us out here on every Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. This has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Until next time, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a great night, everyone.